Hi everyone, welcome to this webinar with RM Sarah Thomas. We're going through the Glassyard and Highline building. Just a disclaimer, we did have to re-record the introduction, so don't be alarmed if you see a slight change or close during this webinar. So you're here today with myself, so I'm Poppy. I'm the residential administrator for our many halls in our portfolio, and I work closely with residence managers, including your resident manager, Sarah Thomas. So today we'll be going through all things to do with Glassyard and Highline, and Sarah will talk you through all the need to know information, and then there's a great question and answer session at the end, so you can put in any issues, concerns, if there's anything on your mind, put it into the chat box and we'll get that answered to you. Okay, so let's get started. I will pass you over to Sarah Thomas and we'll go through the webinar today.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. So as Poppy mentioned, I'm Sarah Thomas. I'm the residence manager for UAL for Glassyard and Highline buildings. So you will see me in and around both of those halls. I tend to be at Glassyard on Monday, Wednesday and Fridays, and then Highline Tuesdays and Thursdays. But you can always ring either hall or pop in and see me, send me an email and I'll get back to you and we can arrange to meet up. So the agenda today is as per on your screen. So we're going to go through each of those areas one by one in more detail. But as Poppy said, you can pop us a question in the chat at any time and we'll go through those at the end. So before you arrive, we do need you to complete the online e-induction. So you do that by just logging back into your accommodation portal and going through that. You also can review the guidebook that is within Halls Life. So if you just Google UAL Halls Life and then guidebook, you'll see the guidebooks for each of the halls. And that takes you through all sorts of useful information. And then if you've got any questions or anything, email accommodation@arts. If the central team can't answer them, then they send them through to me. Or you can, of course, send them direct to me and the emails are in that guidebook. So rent details. So those are your 3 payment dates throughout the year. If you're a UK student and you are on one of the student loans, if you upload your student loan schedule, the finance team can then adjust those payment dates to match the date that you get your loan in. So you can pay by various different methods. You can do full payment. You can pay termly. Normally, a lot of you pay automatically on those 3 payment dates. It's usually taken from the card that you registered when you accepted your offer. So if you want to change that, you probably need to get in touch with the finance administrator for the hall to do that. Or you can do bank transfer, Flywire, etc. listed there. So there's the contact details if you did want to contact the accommodation finance administrator. It's the same email for both halls. And that's where you can, as I say, update your card payment details, your payment plans, if you have any questions. Procedure for when you're going to be checking in with us. So we'll ask the day that you come to present some sort of photographic ID, so that could be passport, driving license. We ask you to sign some documents. It's usually just a key receipt for my 2 halls. That's just so that we know that you've checked in. You'll receive your key fob then, that will give you access in and around the building. Your family and friends are very welcome to come and help you check in. But obviously there's going to be probably a lot of you on the 7th, which is the first check-in day. So be as quick as possible to avoid sort of clogging up lifts, etc. so everybody else can get in as well. And then perhaps pop off and explore the area afterwards. Next slide. So the assistance that we have on, especially that first main arrival day, and going forward, really, we've got plenty of trolleys that you can borrow we just ask you to bring them back to our trolley point so other people can use them. We've got lots of help you can access before you arrive or on arrival day and past arrival day. Just walk up to any member of staff. We're going to be in those black t-shirts that you can see there on screen in the photo. Unfortunately, there's no parking on either of the halls, Highline or Glassyard. We will section off a little bit of road in front, so it literally will be sort of drop off and then move on to find parking somewhere in the local area. Okay, next slide. So my role, you know, if you need reference letters, address letters for opening bank accounts, etc., I can do those for you. If you've got any room or flat queries, flatmate mediation, the main one I think I probably deal with is sort of kitchen cleaning and sort of kitchen sharing issues. So I'm the person that you can come to if you're struggling to sort that out yourself. Any sort of accommodation, rent or tenancy issues I can answer, and any sort of other service referrals, so to finance or well-being or student services, etc. If basically if you've got a question, come and speak to me or send me an email and I will do my best to answer that for you. And my contact details, yeah, it says there, are in that guidebook. So the next slide is for those of you coming into Glassyard. We have got refurbishment works happening as we speak, and they go on into next year into April. And as part of that, there are going to be upgrade works to fire doors. There's going to be new flooring throughout, kitchens, fittings, so cabinetry, flooring, decoration, worktops, etc. Everywhere is going to be redecorated, and then there'll be some furniture here and there that also gets replaced. So the working hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 6. Around the flats being worked on, you might hear a bit of noise. There might be a little bit more dust than normal. Contractors are going to be highly visible. They are highly visible. They've all got their high vis vests, which are numbered, etc. And what's going to be happening is the works are happening in 4 flats at any one time. There's going to be works in 2 occupied flats and then 2 empty flats. And then at some point in the year, you guys will need to move as a flat. So you will be moving as a flat into a newly refurbished flat. So there is one move that you do during the year. And then you're in one of these newly refurbished flats. We will be obviously letting you know when you're going to be needing to move. You'll need to pack all your items, and then if you do need assistance with moving possessions, there will be a porter available and the trolleys, etc. And if anybody needs additional support through that, you can come and speak to me or our disability advisor, and the details are there for her. And you know, there's always staff in and around the building, so if any time you have any questions, do just come and speak to somebody at reception. Should be able to answer questions or get the answers for you. So yep, that's the refurbishment works. So in your room, these are the main things that you'll find in your room. We give you a mattress protector. I would suggest using it to try and prevent any damage to the mattress and subsequent charges when you check out. We also give you a cutting mat. So if you are doing cutting or gluing or anything, use that mat, again, to sort of prevent damage. In our guidebook, we've got details about the room, how to work the heating, how to work the windows. It's really important also to do your inventory and bring that back to reception within 48 hours of you checking it in. That inventory is a way of you telling us if there is anything missing, anything wrong, anything damaged when you move in. So when you move out, you won't receive a charge for something you've mentioned when you checked in. So it's really important, however sort of minor you think maybe a mark on the wall is, or something on the mattress, just tell us on that inventory and then keep a copy for yourself as well. We will be updating the charge list that's online within that guidebook shortly as well. That gives you a rough idea if you do damage or break anything, roughly how much that charge might be. We'll also be giving you the repairs and maintenance information. So as I've said before, Fresh actually manage the building for us. So some of this will be on their website and their portals where you report sort of maintenance issues. We also do kitchen inspections on a monthly basis, so that we tell you in advance when we're coming, so you can work together with flatmates to clean and tidy the kitchen. We then leave inspection forms to tell you if anything needs putting right, and if necessary, come back in a couple of days. If it's not rectified to a certain standard, then we can get cleaning contractors in, but that cost comes back to you guys and is split between everybody in the flat. So work together to keep that kitchen clean. Come and see me if you've got issues. We can put cleaning rotors and that sort of thing in place with you if there's real problems, but hopefully there won't be. There is the Unikit company. So if a lot of if you're coming from overseas or even a little distance in the UK, you might not want to bring bedding and kitchen items with you. You can order those through Unikit. Obviously, a lot of you might also do Amazon or other places. We're happy to take deliveries in advance of you checking in, but just make sure that you put your name clearly on the package and sort of mark it as a new resident, so that we keep it to one side for you for when you arrive, and then you can just ask for it. Next slide, please. So other facilities within the hall. So we've obviously got refuse and recycling areas, laundry, common room, work zones, back stores. We've got 24 site cover overnight and holidays. That would be security guards. We've got CCTV as well throughout the halls. We've got a post and delivery system in place, and questions and stuff, if you pop along to reception, there's usually a member of staff there that you can ask. So Halls Life is our social wellbeing programme. It's winning lots of awards, has been and still is winning lots of awards. Well done them. They provide support, activities, events for students living in all of our halls of residence. And they offer a huge array of different activities, from big nights out to quieter sort of creative sessions within your halls. The people that run this within the halls are actually students themselves, and they will be living amongst you. So it's quite nice to be able to go and chat sort of peer to peer if you've got questions and stuff, and maybe you don't want to come and chat with me. And there's usually one of the Halls Life team around as well. So they also do the Here For You and Wellbeing, and as part of their sort of cost of living support initiatives, they do dry food, period products, laundry powders, etc., and a community fridge. For stress relief, they do wellbeing bags and yoga and meditation classes, and space for you on Sundays, and puppy therapy. Looking forward to that myself in September. And peer support, coffees and chats, and queer peer podcasts. And is the link on the next slide, Poppy, for their events page? No. So if you guys Google UAL Halls Life and then look at the events page on there, you'll see all of the Halls Life events coming up in September. So you'll see all this puppy therapy and coffees and chats and the arrivals party and all sorts, and you can start booking tickets now. So do have a look at that. Health and safety guidelines. So fire safety, we do a weekly alarm test in both of the buildings. That's on a Tuesday between 11 and 12. So you'll hear the alarm sound for a minute or two. You don't need to evacuate then unless they go on and on. And obviously when you do hear the alarms go on and on, you do need to evacuate. We will do one fire drill per term. That's part of a legal requirement. So we need you all to evacuate. And that just gets you used to seeing other evacuation points, because the main door that you come in and out usually might not be the best place for you to be evacuating under an emergency. So you need to get to know the building, get to know your escape routes. Lifts won't work, so you'll need to find the staircases, etc. You'll need to find your assembly point. And just remember that we don't allow smoking or vaping inside the halls. So a bit more on health and safety. So if you could let me know if you've got any health conditions that we might need to be aware of. PEEPs are personal emergency evacuation plans for people that might need assistance to evacuate the building safely. I'm the person that you come to have a chat with about that. We also, if you're not sure about something that college has asked you to do and you think, well, can I do this in the hall? You can come and check with me about that. Do have a look at your tenancy agreement. That also says lots of things that we don't like you to use. We do obviously provide the cutting mat. Certain things we say no to is candles, lit incense sticks, melting wax on the stove for some project that you get given at college. And anything that is a fire risk is definitely a no within the walls. So please don't do it. So there's a few more there. So spray cans, anything with a naked flame, hazardous chemicals you should be storing at college, not here. We don't allow e-scooters or e-bikes in the halls, and we say please do charge anything like laptops, phones, etc. on a hard surface like your desk, rather than just dropping them on the bed. It's just they tend to overheat because that's a soft surface. Next slide. So other support services with UAL. So there's a lot on that Hall's Life that we keep referring to online. There's information about travelling around London. We suggest sort of using licensed cabs, black taxis, Uber, having the city mapper on your phone for planning your journey. Keep your valuables hidden. Like your phones, don't just sort of get them out when you come out of the tube or out of buildings. Keep them hidden. Remember, there's always a member of staff within the building. So I would put the mobile number for the hall in your phone when you arrive. That information is in that hall's guidebook. Try and prevent people coming in. We call it tailgating. Behind you into a building. If you do see somebody that looks a little bit odd in and around the building, just let us know and we can look into it. We're here to keep you safe and sound. And yeah, as I say, definitely save the site mobile number to your phone. And then if you do need us, you can give us a call. Other support, obviously there's me, there's the Fresh team as well. We have a brilliant student services team within UAL. So there's student advisors, counsellors, health advisors, chaplains, disability advisors, dyslexia coordinators and specialist tutors. And that is the link to their main website, and you'll see all of those advisors. You can click on their provisions and have a look at what they can offer you. So there we go. So that's our main contact details there. As Poppy says, this will go live on that Hall's Life platform after today, so you'll be able to watch it back and have a look at the slides if you missed anything. But now is your opportunity to ask us questions. So
lovely. Thank you so much, Sarah. It was really good information there for all the new starters.
So yes, guys, you can put in your questions in the Q&A box. We've got a few already, Sarah. So
Okay, you're going
let's
to read them out.
yeah, I'll read them up for you. Okay. How far in advance do we find out about moving flats? I think that's regarding the
Room numbers. If that is sort of, when will you find out about your flat number? Basically when you check in. We don't give that information out sooner than that. It's just quite often with cancellations or requests or anything, allocations can change right up to arrival day and beyond. So you'll get to know your flat number when you arrive.
Okay, and thank you. How much kitchen, cupboard, and fridge space will each tenant get?
Generally, 2 cupboards and a drawer, and then a fridge, sort of a fridge shelf, and a freezer compartment per tenant. Yeah.
Perfect. And a student would like to know, how will the ongoing construction at Glassyard affect the common area, like the kitchen?
So they won't be working in the only work that they will do in an occupied flat is some work on doors, and that will be in 2 flats a week before those 2 flats then move to a completely refreshed, refurbished flat. So you will always have a kitchen to use. You will always have your bedroom to use. Once they get further along in the program towards the end, at some stage they will be doing the 2 main, the common room and the work zone downstairs, and then obviously we'd give you information about how that's going to work, sort of thing, so you're aware of that as well. But yeah, you'll always be able to cook in your kitchen.
Amazing, thank you, Sarah. We've got another question here. Can we ship some stuff to our building before we arrive? Yeah, so I guess not the uni kit out, but other personal belongings.
Yes, yeah, anything that you need to send on in advance of yourself arriving, that's fine. Just mark it clearly with your name and add new resident in capital letters if you could as well, and that just helps us sort of work out who's due to come and who has been here, so that we keep it all separate. It will be added to the post list, which you'll have access to when you check in. There'll be a QR code on reception. You can have a look at the post list and check to see if your parcel's arrived, and ask us, basically. Yeah.
Thank you. And a student would like to know if mini fridges are forbidden. So I'm guessing in the room, are they allowed their own mini fridge?
No, you can't bring your own mini fridge to use in the room. Anything cooking wise would need to be in the kitchen. So people that are maybe bringing sort of rice cookers or additional kettles and toasters, you have to use those in the kitchen. So it depends on the mini fridge question. If you've got a medical reason for requiring a fridge, then if you contact me separately with information on that, what we normally do is provide the mini fridge for you in the bedroom, if there is a specific medical need for that, so for medications, etc.
Brilliant. And a student would like to know what the exact size of the bed is. I don't know if you have the measurements.
Okay, so yeah, no, in both properties they're what we call a small double in the UK. It's a 4'6" mattress. So if you look what a 4'6" mattress is online, that will give you the measurements in inches and centimeters, etc. But yeah, it's basically a 3/4 bed.
Lovely. Okay, another question. Are the shared kitchen and flat floors co-ed? So I think
Co-ed as in that's a very Americanism phrase, isn't it? But I'm just trying to think what remind myself what co-ed is. It
boys and girls.
Yes, what's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the computer, if you like, does a lot of the sort of allocations. We'll have a quick look to sort of check that there's a fairly good mix of nationalities, male, female, ages, that sort of thing, but we can't capture everything. So if somebody's, I suppose if somebody's got a real sort of request, they could email me and I'll see what I can do. But yeah, most flats are mixed.
Perfect. There's a question here on halls life, and it's whether people from different halls can join the same activity. So if a student has a friend in, say, the costume store, can they go to the same event?
If it's a ticketed event, you'd have to both have tickets. And I don't see why, yeah, if you wanted to come and do coffee and chat or a film night in one or other of the halls, I don't see there would be an issue. You might be asked to show your student ID that you are a UAL student, but apart from that, no, you should be able to join in events in each other's halls. If that's what you'd like to do, you can always have a chat as well with the student halls life team, just to make sure that that's okay, but it shouldn't be a problem.
Perfect. We have a question here. Is it okay to arrive 10 days after the move-in day? Will it be too late?
Yep. No, moving day obviously is when lots of people do arrive. So it's quite nice if you arrive with lots of other people that are also sort of arriving the same time. But if you can't arrive for 10 days after, that's not a problem. When you do your online e-induction, you'll be asked to put in your arrival date and time, etc. That just gives us an indication of when people are going to arrive, if it's going to be after the 7th of September. At some stage, one of my colleagues starts chasing people that haven't arrived just to make sure you are still coming. So do pop a date when you do the e-induction, or send me an email and say, Sarah, can you put this in for me? I can't do it, or I need to change it or something. So it's not a problem.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. And yeah, just to encourage you all to do the induction, sorry. And if you're not sure what time you arrive, you can just put an approximate and you can go back and change it as well. So if you know you're gonna definitely be arriving on the 7th, but not sure on the time, you can still complete it now. But please do it because it's really important for us so we know who's coming. Okay, and then next
Know about traffic delays and everything, so don't panic if you've put you're going to be here at 11 and you don't arrive till 2. We understand. It's fine.
Completely. Okay, another question here. Is there a way to find out which flatmates you will be living with in advance, or do you find out on the day?
You will find out on the day, basically on check-in. Yeah, we don't give out flat numbers prior to everybody arriving. So yeah.
Okay, a question here. Do we get locks on the wardrobe doors in the room?
No, I mean your bedroom is your bedroom, so that has a lock on your bedroom door, which you can also lock with your key fob when you go out. When you enter, you unlock the door. Once you're in the room, you can turn a fob on the back to lock it again. But yeah, in the room, there's no additional locking on wardrobes or drawers at all. No.
Perfect, thank you. Another question about arrival day. So a student will be arriving late in the evening on the arrival day. Is that still okay?
Yep, that's fine as well. Put the time of arrival in your e-induction, but the halls are staffed by security. Once the daytime staff go home, they'll be on the front desk. If you've also got the mobile number for the hall, if you've already got your UK mobile or a mobile phone with you, put the hall mobile phone in there. If for any reason security's up and around the building on patrol or helping somebody else when you arrive, you can give them a call and they'll come down to you as soon as they can. But no, arrive anytime.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, question on what's in the kitchen. So can you tell us more about what's supplied? Is there pots, pans, oven trays, cooking utensils?
Nope. So you need to bring your own cooking equipment like that. So what Poppy's just read out there, so pots and pans, plates, cutlery, etc. You need to bring yourself. What we supply in the kitchen are the sort of kitchen equipment. So you'll have the ovens, kettle, toaster, microwave, fridge, freezer. So all of that is supplied to you. If when you get into that guidebook that's on Halls Life, and you look up inventory and contents of the room, there's a whole list there of the stuff that you will have in your bedroom, you will have in the kitchen. Everything else you need to bring yourself. And I think on the Halls Life guide, there's actually a don't forget page of things that you might like to bring with you. So toilet paper being the #1 item, I think, on that list. So
Perfect. And can you tell us more about the guest policy? So if a student were to have a friend to stay over, is that possible?
yes, so you can have one overnight guest in 3 nights in a 2-week period. We ask you to sign, and I mean, if they're only coming in with you for the day up till about 10 p.m, you can have 2 guests at a time, but it is only one overnight guest. We ask you to sign all guests in and out at reception. It's just that's we're not keeping an eye on you or who's in and around the building. It's just we have to do that for fire regulations. So if we do have to evacuate the building, we have a rough idea of extra people that might be around. And then obviously it's quite nice if you also tell your flatmates you've got somebody staying or visiting you as well, so that they're not sort of bumping into a stranger in the middle of the night wondering who it is. So
Thank you. And the students asked about help registering with a local GP.
So that information is also in that guidebook, but we do a very small sort of arrival pack now. It's the key receipt, but one of the pages in there is the local GP practice that we recommend or sort of we have links with. Obviously you guys can choose whoever you want to be with, but we put information about one local GP practice in your arrival pack. But if you want to find out about that now, it's also in the guidebook.
Thank you. There's a question here. A student has missed some of this webinar, so they're a bit confused if Highline building is being renovated as well, or is it just Glassyard?
No, it is just Glassyard. So that slide was literally just Glassyard. So anybody going into Highline, no business as usual, no moves, no contractors apart from the usual if something else goes wrong. But yeah, it's Glassyard only for all the major refurbishment works.
Thank you. And can students bring air fryers into the kitchen area?
You can, as long as you are using that in the kitchen area, you can. We've got a bit of information about air fryers on our Halls Life pages, just some basic safety information. So it is preferable if you've purchased them once you're in the UK, so that they've got a UK fitted plug already, and we know it's safe. There is some information about electrical safety, again, in the guidebook and online. Just make sure it's got that proper CE on the plug. And if there's any issues with it, then stop using it, basically. But yeah, you can bring an air fryer.
Brilliant. Okay, and do people need to bring their irons and ironing board and vacuums, or is that provided?
Nope, those are in the flat as well. There's a vacuum cleaner. The only thing you might need to do at some point in the year is change the bag. And then we also supply the ironing board and irons. So they are one per kitchen, basically. So you're sharing that with your flatmates.
Thank you. And we have a question here about arrival dates. If a student were to come earlier than the arrival date, what's the procedure there?
We don't normally allow any early arrivals. It's just that our current residents are in till the 24th of August. So we have 2 weeks to sort of check every room, paint where necessary, clean, etc. So very rarely do we allow early arrivals. If you've got a specific reason, then do email me with that reason, and I will look and see if it is going to be possible or not. But yeah. it will be on a sort of case by case basis. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. And do students all get their own letter boxes and post boxes? And how does it work with individual post addresses?
Okay, so your postal address is, I think, one of the first pages in that guidebook, the online guidebook. So it'll be your name, your room number once you've arrived and know it, or you put new resident and then full address. The post will come in to us at reception, where we will sort it into the mailboxes in the reception area. The mailboxes are one per flat. And unless you're in one of the studios at Highline, in which case you have your own post box. They are quite small, so it will only be letters or small parcels that we'll put in there. The rest of the items we keep at reception, and we have a post log that once you've arrived, you can scan a QR code and you can look up to see if you've got parcels to collect, or you can just come to reception and ask us. Yeah, that's how we manage that.
Thank you. And how do students pay for the laundry machines?
So in both buildings, it's Circuit Laundry who run the laundry on site. You can set up Apple Pay sort of on your phone through that. There's an app that you scan your phone and pay for it that way, or you can order a laundry card from there. The Circuit Laundry website, top it up online and pay that way through a sort of your own sort of laundry card, I suppose. But yeah.
Lovely. And there's a question here, the students saying that there's a big gap between them moving in and the beginning of term. So what is there to do that doesn't cost money between then and the time that the term starts? What do most students do, if you know?
They have a look at the Halls Life events page. So have a look, Google UAL Halls Life. There's one of the tabs across the top says events, and there are hundreds, well, I wouldn't say hundreds, but there are loads of events throughout September to take you up to the start of college. So the puppy therapy, a lot of that is free. Very few events do they actually charge for. But a lot of them you'll have to sign up and get your free ticket in order to come, especially for the puppy therapy. That's very popular, but a lot of that is free. So there's lots happening through them. There'll also be, if you have a look for the student union website as well, they'll be having events so that you can sign up and get to know people outside of the halls, etc. through that. So and just coming to London and doing all the freebie stuff that London has to offer. Museums are all free still. You can just walk around and just see London really. Get to know the local area, etc. So yeah, lots of freeness in London.
There's so much to do.
Yeah.
So we have 5 minutes left. So if
Mhm.
you have any more questions, please put it in the chat. If we can't answer it today, we will get back to you. So it's definitely just worth putting your question in there. So I'll just read out the last few questions. How many plug sockets are in the room?
Wow. I don't think I've ever counted. There are usually enough. I mean, there's I can remember there's a double socket by the bed. There's I think 2 double sockets under the desk. All we ask you to do is if you are needing extra sockets, is to use a proper extension lead. Don't use those cube adapters. The cube adapters tend to cause issues. So have a proper long, sort of four-way extension, and don't plug extension leads into extension leads. Always have one extension lead per proper socket. But yeah, I think most people manage with what's in the room. It's not different.
Lovely, brilliant. Okay, and is there a Wi-Fi connection in the halls, and is it chargeable?
The Wi-Fi provision is part of your rent. Yes, and yes, it's through both halls everywhere. There's also hardwired in the room as well. If you want to bring an Ethernet cable, you can plug in directly. But yeah, you don't pay extra for that unless you want to upgrade to a different package, and that's with Ask For. So you can already, I suppose, have a look, you know, Google Ask For, put in your property address, and you can see what those add-ins are. But most students, I think, manage with the provision we already have through the Wi-Fi, etc.
Thank you. And how many people will share a flat?
The biggest flat at Highline is 10, but we only have one of those. It's usually sort of 8 or 9. And at Glassyard, very similar, sort of 7, 8, 9 bed. We have a few smaller ones at 6. But yeah. Yeah, if you have any issues sort of, you know, once you've arrived at any time throughout the year with you know, flat issues, do come and speak to me. You know, I can arrange individual meetings, flat meetings, yeah, cleaning rotas, etc. So yeah, don't suffer. But hopefully there won't be an issue, will there, Poppy? They'll come and enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be absolutely fine, don't worry. Okay, and a quick one here. In terms of maintenance teams, do they have maintenance teams in the hall? So if a student has an issue with lights or plumbing, who do they go to?
So you'll be given the fresh access to the fresh maintenance portal. That's where you'll report any maintenance issues that you require. If you're struggling to get onto that, then just pop down to reception and they can make a note of it. Each site has one maintenance guy. So, you know, he's the main person that you'll see coming in to rectify anything in your bedroom or your flat. If obviously they can't do it, then Fresh will bring in contractors, and you'll be kept updated as to where they are in the repair process if it's not a quick fix.
Perfect. And
yeah, there's no need for anybody to do anything. You know, we
Just
ask you not to obviously probably make it worse, but yeah, come and tell us.
Yeah, all you need to do is report it. Perfect. Okay, and the last couple now, if a student wanted to move halls, how do they go about that?
Yep. So once you've checked in and we've checked you in on our system, you'll be able to access what we class. I think it comes up as a room move request, but it's the same form that you'd complete if you also want a hall move. So once you've checked in, you can fill in this form. That sort of comes through to me. I can take a look at it. We don't normally start moving anybody around the hall or different halls until the end of October, just so that everybody can arrive, get settled in, see how you're getting on. So don't think, you know, don't start filling in the form as soon as you arrive, because you know, unless there's a real major problem, in which case you'd be coming to speak to me anyway. But yeah, there is that opportunity if availability allows, basically, and depending on your reasons, etc. We will look at that with you.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Sarah. There's a few questions which I'll answer. It's about the recording and where this webinar recording will be. So after this webinar, once we have the recording, we'll send it out to all the attendees, and it will also be on our Halls Live website as well. So we'll get the marketing team to send out a comms about the webinar being live on our website, so you can go back whenever you need and just have a look through. Okay, but if you do have any other questions, put it in quickly before we go, because we will get back to you. Lovely.
So obviously, yeah, any questions following this that you think, oh, forgot to ask, there's the accommodation email address up there, or the hall's email addresses are in that guidebook and they come through to me. So yeah, don't think you've forgotten to ask something, just ask it in an email afterwards. It's fine.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Yay. Thank you for joining. And we're looking forward to seeing you all in September. So
thank you very much, guys. Yeah. See you in September.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.